Hello, Buddhas! Today I have a pretty straightforward message, and that is on the subject of fear. I thought this was appropriate, being that it was just Halloween yesterday, and I wanted to ask the question, why is it that we desire fear? Cheers! Right now, it is November 1st, and I'm filming this on the same day that I'm publishing it, and I'm trying to get back into a rhythm. Now let me explain a little backstory here. I got very excited about creating these videos, and I actually had a whole week of videos pre-recorded that I had uploaded onto YouTube, and it kind of actually got me out of the groove. And now what I'm doing is I'm getting myself back into the groove of, coffee break, making videos on the daily. So the idea will be that I will always have a video recorded and ready to go for the next morning, now that I'm catching back up with that. So why did this happen to me? Well, I feared missing a day, right? Because my goal here is to post a video every single day so I can get the best content to you guys and the freshest ideas. And my overzealous, overactive, overanalytical, overlogical human ego mind was actually stopping me from doing that. What it was doing was saying, hey, you have to make so much content that you're always ahead of time, so in case something terrible happens, you won't miss a day. And that actually pulled me out of the groove, the daily, the grind, the daily passion. It's not a grind, but it's a good kind of grind. You know what I'm talking about. So why do I bring that up? Essentially what I'm trying to say is my desire, my intention, my raison d'être right now is to bring the greatest content I possibly can with the developing skill set that I have to you, to my Buddha community. And I want to do that on a daily basis so that it's fresh, it's in my mind, it's stuff that's relevant, and I was getting in my own way of doing that. So what I've realized through all of this is this journey as humans here is a lot about releasing, not controlling, but releasing our fears, okay? This may be a controversial opinion, but we live in an extremely safe society, okay? I live in Ottawa, Canada, which, as far as I'm concerned, is the greatest city on this fair planet, in one of the greatest countries on this fair planet, on one of the greatest planets in this solar system, in the greatest solar system in this known universe. Why can I say all of that with some confidence? Well, because it's all we know, it's all we have. And I'm just kind of narrowing it in on Ottawa because it's a beautiful city that I've loved to grow up in, and doesn't mean that I don't want to expand and see the rest of the world, but given our state of the world right now, I'm quite thankful to be in this beautiful capital. Now, we all have fears. I have been personally working on my fears a lot lately. One of the big ones that I have discovered is my fear of rejection, of course, and that has created an immense amount of resistance in my life. And I am getting through it. But I've also created this fear of failure, and I've created this fear of loss, and I've created these fears of not necessarily a fear of jealousy, but a fear of not doing the right thing almost, right? I wouldn't want to do something that would cause harm to people. Actually, I'm a little bit afraid of doing that. It's one of the reasons that it held me back from creating these videos. But one of the things that I'm starting to realize about fear is that it's all in our heads. And, coffee break, when we are fearful of something, we are actually associating a lot of energy onto that subject, and we're making it bigger, right? We are adding our power as creators to that thing that we fear. So let's say I fear that this video could be deemed inappropriate and removed by the YouTube gods. if I feared that strongly enough, then a correlating action in this universe may appear or may coincide in a way that causes this video to be deemed inappropriate by the YouTube gods. Now, I don't believe that that's the case because I'm just talking about some basic metaphysics here. But things can change all the time and things can adapt to our state of being. And we're gonna have a kitty cameo? Nope. Oh, we missed the kitty cameo. Oh well. So, on the subject of releasing that fear, we have to come to terms with understanding, we got a kitty cameo, that we are our own worst enemy when it comes to this. When we desire something so badly, like a kitty cameo, and we try really, really hard to make it happen, Kitty's not going to come into the picture. He's just going to run away and do something else because he's got all kinds of choices. He's got all kinds of different spots he can hang out and chill, bathtubs he can play in. Yes, he's a water cat. Don't ask. I don't know why. I love it though. And we have to come to terms with realizing that if we fear a thing, it's going to manifest. If I were to fear Butterscotch running away from me, he would. Animals are innately sensitive to these concepts, and us as humans, we always tend to forget that we are animals. Yeah, I know, crazy concept. But we forget that fundamental nature in ourselves, and we dwell logically on the fear that we are producing inside of our own brains based on the desires that we have. My piece of advice to wrap this up: come to terms with your fear. Don't try to control what you are fearing, but rather acknowledge what you are fearing. Sit with it. Determine how it has helped you get to the point that you are at, and then release it by acknowledging its ability to control your life and saying that that is not the journey you are on any longer. And this may happen immediately. This may need 1,000 reminders. It's different for everyone and it's different for every subject. There are certain things for me that I'm able to say, I don't fear that anymore. I do not fear being mugged walking down the street in my fair city. But I do have a lot of fear still that I'm working through with relationships, for example, because that closer, intimate bond with someone has eluded me. And before we go off onto too much of a subject change tangent there, I will end the video. If you have any comments about things that you have overcome in fearing, please hit them down below. Like, comment, and subscribe, the usual ding dong. And until next time, Buddhas, remember, the most important thing on this journey is to love yourself.